Hey, welcome back. Now that we have a way, basically to use a Python script to access the OpenAI API, which we have seen in the last video. Basically, we gave it a particular prompt. Okay, we ran the script, it accessed the API, and it gave that particular prompt to this particular model, that is the DaVinci model, and then it returned the output, which was a JSON file, which you can see over here. Now, that's all great, but we actually need, to just pick up the text which is displayed. That is, if you see here, this parameter, the value of this, we need to fetch that, right? Because we want to be able to show that in our applications. So all we want to show is the actual text, nothing apart from that. We don't want everything like a JSON format to be displayed, right? So for doing this, we'll need to do over is, we'll have to create a new variable. Okay, let's say we name the variable as text output. Okay, because we want to fetch text, you can give any name you wish to give that. Okay, and say that is going to be the value of output. So see, basically output is a JSON choice, right? So if you just go here, you have this choices element. So I can say here text output is equal to, okay, the output where, which is there. From that, I want to pick up the choices, which is the first parameter from the JSON file. Where we're also going to access the first element within choices, right? So because it may have multiple element, but we need to access the first element from choices. So for that, now since this is Python, so always the first element would be equal to the index value 0, right? Even though your computer starts counting at 0. Okay, so I'm going to mention here after choices the value as 0. Okay, so now we are basically over here in the choices at the 0th element, right? Now we want the text value to be set. So after this, we will write down in the square brackets, we'll give the value of text. Okay, so now I am just going to put in text like this, and all it should return is this particular text value, right? Now, what I'm going to do is we can, just print here instead of the where output, I will print here the new variable which picks up just the value of text. Okay, let me save this. Okay, and let me execute this. Now, let me see what is the value. Now, this is what exactly we want, right? That's how we can fetch only the text, or we can say the response that we are getting from the OpenAI API. Okay, now you can also, like, if you don't want, this quotes, you can remove those. You don't want probably this period sign, you can remove that. Okay, now all that is your choices. If you want to remove that, you can do that. Let's make one simple change over here. Now, instead of telling, let's say, give me a slogan, okay, because see, when we say a slogan, it by default will start with a double quotation marks, okay. Let me give here something like a different prompt. Let's say I'm saying, give me an outline for an article on, let's say, programming versus. Now, since I'm a programmer, I want an article on programming versus scripting. Okay, so you can give here, let's say, max tokens as 300. Okay, and everything here rest looks same. Now let me execute this. Yeah, so you see you have got here a particular outline. So now there is no double quotation marks or something. You will have the introduction, then you will have the definition. Okay, after which, now 1 second, let me just increase it like this. Let me execute this once again for you. Okay. So introduction, definition, then overview, then advantages of scripting, disadvantages of programming and scripting, and finally a conclusion. So this is how basically, we can get the particular prompt depending, or the response depending on the prompt that you are going to give it, right? So now over here, okay, the next thing that we would be doing is we would need to make this serverless, because we need to basically, make this function that it can be wrapped into our apps, like Power Apps or Power Automate, okay, and they can access the particular function. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. So we are now going to put this into an Azure function. Okay, now this is a normal Python function that we created, okay, which means that whatever we need or any sort of response from an API, we can basically use this Azure function, and we don't need to have a computer running, or basically be a serverless. So let's go ahead, and in the next video we create an Azure function for this and apply it, and let's see how it can be created further. Okay, so stay tuned for my next video. Till then, have a good day.